I believe we share this out. This is on Prezi. If not, I can share it to everybody. But this is one of the things that I wanted to share with you is over the course of the 3 years, I truly believe that our staff has really come together, and we are truly dedicated to the students at Gaston. So one of our mottos and one of the things that we talk about each time at our PLCs is giving 100% of our PLCs and not having any excuses. So at the beginning of the year, our first activity, we talked about making sure that at the meeting we talked about some of the things that we've heard both from kind of the parents around us and the staff. We just took all those ideas of excuses and threw them out the door. And we began to look at our data that we had last year and the 2 previous years that I was there as we kind of began looking at our school goals. One of the things that we talked about with the transition with Cunningham and Gaston coming together is we talked about being one. And so I always talk about one is when Charles Woodson, Steve, you'll enjoy this, but when they were playing the championship game, and he talked about being one, and he talked about being a team. So we referred to that in my second year, and one of the things that we just talked about is just making sure that not only do we celebrate our successes, but we're there for each other, so we kind of help each other out. So some of the successes that we celebrated is just the culture shift. At Gaston, we truly bring the community around Gaston, the parents involved more and more each year. And so I'll share with some of those things that we're doing with the parents. The other thing is our school report card went up last year. We were recognized as a School of Recognition this past year, and then we were also the PBIS School of Merit. So we're looking at doing PBIS School of Recognition, which is kind of the next step. So we've been also looking at that as a program. Some of the family events that we've had, we have Family Fitness Night. We've had Seuss on the Loose. We do Pizza Bingo. We have a Grandparents' Day that comes up in April that we have a great turnout each year. We have the Gaston Carnival that was actually recently just in the paper. That's the 3rd weekend in May. That's our biggest PTO fundraising event that we have. And our PTO supports our students by providing money for field trips and many other aspects at Gaston to support the students. Each grade level had the families come in and they talked about what they're covering in math, reading. They talked about the new Lucy Calkins writing series. So they shared some of the things and how they can support the kids at home. I started this year breakfast chats. So we each month focused on a particular aspect. We focused on math, technology, the one-to-one. We did reading. So I provided breakfast for the parents and we sat down and kind of talked about ways that you can support your kids. With the new writing series, we took a look at the paper, just because the paper is a little bit different at the lower levels because there's an area for a picture and then the kids kind of describe it underneath there. We talked about some reading strategies and shared some things with parents that they can support at home so that the work that the teachers are doing in the classroom can also be supported after school. We are doing a Raising a Thinking Child parenting class that's taking place at Brother Dutton in one of the 4K classrooms. That started today. It's an 8-week class that we have. We partnered with UW Extension to provide that. And then some of the other things that our staff has done is they've gotten Thanksgiving baskets together for families in need, and they've also done some Christmas gifts as well. So. This year we got the 21st Century Grant, and it's an after-school program that meets Monday through Thursday. It's from right after school, so the kids kind of have an activity after school and they get a snack, and then they kind of do a rotation. So they have reading 2 days to help them with reading, and then they have math 2 days. And then in the afternoon after that, we kind of wanted to focus on making some other things that kids might not have opportunities at. So we did some fitness fun. We do an art club, we do a creation station, and we also have science exploration where the kids are doing some fun science experiments. And then we're also collaborating with the Boys and Girls Club to help support the families for after-school wraparound program as well. one of the things that I wanted to talk about, one of the things that I'm excited about is as a staff, we're beginning to look at STEM. So you probably are familiar with STEM a little bit with the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But at Gaston, with the focus in reading, one of the things that I've thought along about is kind of getting kids excited about science again, but also supporting in reading. So one of the things that I have been doing with some team members and kind of doing some collaborations is Project Lead the Way is coming out with a STEM curriculum next year for K-5. So it'll be the first year it'll be offered. So we're looking to add that STEM piece of it. We're looking at adding some Lego STEM. So I visited Kenosha Tech School, and they have like We Do and different STEM curriculum through Legos, and the kids are actually programming this little alligator to get the mouth to shut. And it's kind of a easy, simple way to begin coding, which is becoming popular in schools. I've talked to the National Geographic, and they're working also at potentially, they were excited about how they've never heard STREAM before. We have acronyms all the time. There's STEM, and now the new one is STEAM, which adds the art piece of it. So I am looking at getting a STEM grant, so I added the R, so we could be potentially the first ones in the state to have STREAM, of another acronym, to add the science components. So when I talked to National Geographic, they are very excited about that. And one of the things we're looking at is they have kids magazines. So they have ones that they would get to take home, so they would have access to more reading at home, but then we'd also have it so it's on the iPads. So the kids can begin to look at reading on the iPads as well as getting it home. And that would be once a month. They also have a Reach reading series, so they're looking to pilot it at Gaston to kind of see that how that impact of the STEM and reading together can improve their learning. This past week, I met with a representative from Games and Learning Society. It's through UW-Madison. It's a group of students that are working on incorporating games in learning. And one of the games that I was able to see was, it's called a science game, A Conscious Scientist. And what the kids do is they actually get to do some problem solving. So they're looking, the example they had is the lake. So they could add a prairie runoff, so to see if that would help prevent some of the runoff of the fertilizer from the farm field. So kids actually put these different aspects into the game, and they can see the immediate impact. So there's writing components to it, and there's reading too. So I was very excited about it. Again, Gaston would be the first one they've worked with at 4K through 3rd grade. They've mainly worked with the upper grades, but when I talked to them about the program, they're working on ways that we would work actually with the game designers to create it so that it would fit the needs that we're looking for. Yerkes Observatory is also one that would be where we'd look at mainly with our 3rd graders, and they would actually be able to remotely control some of the telescopes around the country as well as the world, and they would actually be able to take pictures of different objects in the sky. And then after they do that, they can do a bunch of different aspects with that. So I've talked to them, and I'm looking at partnering with area businesses to kind of do reading buddy programs. We currently already have a mentor program, so kind of adding the reading buddies as well as incorporate that into the day. So, and the last thing is with Gaston getting the remodel and the addition, one of the pieces that I wanted to do is look at creating a school garden. So I've been working with Welty and some others just to kind of create a school garden. And one of the ideas that I had after walking away with it is we would get some prairie and some wildflowers and then create a stone path. So during art class, they would create these stepping stones. So as they go through it, they would be able to have a path through it to go through there. And then the other piece that we would add is little labels for each of the plants. And then we would add the QR code so that as parents are going through it with their phone, or if they have an iPad, they can just go up to the QR code and they would be able to see a report done by a Gaston student that could show the pictures of the different seasons of the flowers and a little bit of report as well. So I'm excited about that addition as well, but I'm excited, and I've talked to the staff about it as we're looking at building this block, and they're extremely excited to begin doing this. I've also been working with a STEM committee on getting some STEM curriculum throughout. We were looking at grades 4 through 8. So I've been working with Tony closely as that's one of the new intermediate schools that would be opening up and incorporating the Project Lead the Way launch curriculum for 4th and 5th grade. And so then the kids would have a seamless transition from 4th to 5th to the Gateway to Technology classes that are offered at the middle school. So then those kids would have an opportunity to be exposed to the STEM curriculum throughout their time. And then, of course, as well as there's at the high school, that would continue. So. And so the last thing I'll leave you with, and like I shared this Prezi with you. There's kind of two videos that we looked at the beginning of the year. One talks about a teacher that does a bunch of experiments to get kids engaged. So we kind of really watch that to kind of get the kids excited again about learning. And then there's one that they talk about waiting for Superman, but that's a video that just talks about the importance of, as we were bringing one-to-one in, is just incorporating the technology into the days of the school day for the kids, just because it's changing and the learners are changing. So that's a good video. But one of the things that I'll leave you with is we started the year and then we check back throughout the year, and we always are telling ourselves, how can we challenge ourselves? So I told my staff I'm challenging myself throughout the year, and then we also kind of did goals together, and I meet with staff and we kind of do check-ins and how they are growing professionally. So each year we ask, how are we challenging ourselves? So one of the speakers that we had at the beginning of the year was Heidi Hayes Jacobs. So we talked about how we can get what she talked about at the beginning of the year throughout the year. So we kind of do that throughout as well. And the one thing that we have just says every school is just to get every student at 100% at grade level or above. So as I approached the staff, that was one of my challenges as we begin to continue to reflect on the data piece. And I said, looking at our data, we have a ways to travel. And that's why I chose this as a Prezi, because it's always a journey throughout the year. But one of the things that I said as a building principal, I would never be able to say, looking at our data, let's make it 85%, because there's something that we can obtain. And I said, I am not a building principal that would stand up and say, okay, 85% of the kids at Gaston will be able to read at or above. So I said our goal is going to be 100%, and we continue as PLCs and as a school, we always are reflecting on the data to make sure we achieve that. And what I'd like to leave you with is we got some shirts. And so to thank you from the staff for the support of the school, we got this as our new logo, and then we put this on the back. So, yeah, so.